بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما. اللهم نعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع ومن قلب لا يخشع ومن نفس لا تشبع ومن دعوة لا يستجاب لها. أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is our 26th lesson, gathering, reading the second introduction of Ibn Juzay's tafsir entitled at-Tasheel li-ulum at-Tanzil. We're now on harf al-Sin, the letter of Sin. يقول المؤلف رحمه الله تعالى, Author, he says, may Allah have mercy on him, 487, asbatun jam'u sibtin. The word asbat, which is the plural of the word sibt, وهم ذرية يعقوب عليه السلام. These are the offspring of Yaqub alayhi salam. Asbat are the tribes. One sibt is one tribe, and these are referring to the offspring of Yaqub because Yaqub, he had, like he's gonna mention, kana lahu ithna ashara waladan dhakara. He had 12 boys, 12 sons, 12 sons. فعاقب كل واحد منهما عقبة. So each one of these 12 sons, they had a tribe after them. Okay? Clear? Such as in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَيَعْقُوبَ وَالْأَسْبَاطِ. Okay, and Yaqub and the tribes, right? Meaning the 12 tribes of, they are Bani Israel. Okay? He says, وَالْأَسْبَاطُ فِي بَنِي إِسْرَائِيل فِي بَنِي إِسْرَائِيل. The tribes, or the Asbat, with regards to Bani Israel, just like Kalikaba'ili fil Arab, just like the tribes with regards to Arab. Okay, meaning it's the same concept. Okay, of tribes. Okay, family. Mafhum? Okay, and as a proof with regards to them being 12, that's about, he says, as Allah mentions in Surah Al-A'raf, وَقَطَّعْنَاهُمُ اثْنَتَيْ عَشْرَةَ أَسْبَاطًا. Okay, and we've broken them up. We separated them into 12 asbab, okay, like 12 tribes. He says 488, sabilun, وهو الطريق. The word sabil is a path. وجمعه subul. The plural of sabil is subul. Okay, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah to Yusuf, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ. Say, this is my path. I invite, I call to Allah. He says, ثم استعمل ثم استعمل في طريق الخير والشر. Then the word is used with regards to a path of good and a path of evil. Okay, so the word sabil in the Arabic language refers to a path, and that path can either be for a path of good or a path of evil, right? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, uh, وَأَنَّ هَذِهِ صِرَاطِي مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُوا وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا السُّبُلَ. Okay, and this is my path straight. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا السُّبُلَ. And don't follow the other paths, meaning in this case is يعني طرق الشر, the paths of evil. فَتَفَرَّقَ عَنْ سَبِيلِي. Okay, so that you separate from my path. Mafhum? Believe that's in Surah Al-A'raf, in the Surah Al-A'raf. وَسَبِيلُ اللَّهِ وَسَبِيلُ اللَّهِ أي الجهاد. The term sabilullah, right? Wajahidu fi sabilillah. That refers to al jihad, okay? Fighting in the path of Allah. And that's as the people knowledge mentioned, this is the first thing that a person should think of when they hear sabilillah, yani al jihad. Okay. Are there other paths to Allah? Nah. But the first thing, yani al al ma'na sabil al jihad. Clear? Right? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat 154, وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَنْ يُقْتَلُ فِي وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَنْ يُقْتَلُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتٍ. And don't you say, okay, regarding those who have been, don't say regarding those people who have been killed in the path of Allah, meaning in jihad amwats, that they're dead. Okay. He says, وَبَنُ السَّبِيلِ الضَّيْفُ وَقِيلَ الْغَرِيبُ. The word or the term Ibn Sabil in the Quran has two usages. Perhaps it means a daif, it refers to a daif, a guest. And perhaps it means al-Ghareeb, like a wayfarer, a stranger, a person that's stranded. They're not from this land. How they ran out of all their wealth, their funds that they had for the trip, and now they're Ibn Sabil, they're Ghareeb. Clear? As Allah mentions in Surah numerous Surah Al-Baqarah, for example, وَآتِ ذَا الْقُرْبَى حَقَّهُ وَالْمِسْكِينَ وَابْنَ السَّبِيلِ. No, I'm sorry. That's in Surah Al-Isra, the ayat I just mentioned. وَآتِ ذَا الْقُرْبَى حَقَّهُ وَالْمِسْكِينَ وَابْنَ السَّبِيلِ. And give those relatives their right. It's right. Give the relative his right. وَالْمِسْكِين, as well as the poor, وَابْنَ السَّبِيلِ, as well as the Ibn Sabil, which is either a guest, or a wayfarer, stranded traveler. 489. One second. Pardon me, I had to take care of a quick need. 489. Sawwa bitashdidi. The verb sawwa, which is what's called fa'ala, and the tasrif is sawwa yusawwi taswiyatan. Okay, so let's go taf'ilatan. Okay, and that's because whenever the lam of the verb is weak, like sawwa, sama, rabba, okay, the masdar is going to be on the scale taf'ilatan, tarbiyatan, tasmiyatan, taswiyatan. Okay, he says lahu ma'niyan. It has two meanings, two usages in the Quran, two meanings. The first he says, من التسوية بين الأشياء وجعلها سواء. Okay, وجعلها سواء. This is from the usage of making things equal between each other. Okay, deeming things to be equal between each other and deeming them to be the same thing. This is the actual linguistic meaning of shirk. Okay, the linguistic meaning of shirk is a taswiyah. Okay, making two things equal between each other. They're the same thing. Okay, and Allah Subhanahu wa Taala mentions this usage of taswiyah with regard into the meaning of shirk in Surah Shu'ara, ayah 98, where Allah mentions Ibn Sawwikumu bi Rabbil Alameen, when we made you all equals with the Lord of all creation. Is that clear? Now, the second meaning he mentions will be ma'na atqana wa ahsana. The second meaning of sawab refers to perfection, perfecting something, making something in a good stature, good manner. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, as the author mentions, وَمِنْهُ فَسَوَّاكَ فَعَدَلَكَ. Okay? So he perfected you, فَعَدَلَكَ, and he made you straight and upright, even. He made you even. Okay? In proper proportion. Okay? Appropriate proportion. Okay? Is that clear? طيب. He says 490 سواء بالفتح والهمز من التسوية بين الأشياء. سواء means like the same, okay? It's with a fath on the same as well as a hums at the end. This is for deeming things to be equal between each other. Translation will be the same. سواء علينا جزعنا أم صبرنا, as Allah mentions. It's the same whether we patient or we're aggravated, we speak bad about it. سواء علينا جزعنا أم صبرنا ما لنا من سبيل. Okay, we don't have any path out of the fire. Okay, Surah to Ibrahim. Or as Allah mentions, ليسوا سواء, Surah to Al Imran. ليسوا سواء. They are not the same. They are not the same. Speaking about Ahl al-Kitab. Then he says, وَسَوَاءِ الْجَحِيمِ أي وَسَطِهَا. Okay, the middle of the fire. Okay, the middle of the fire. He says, وَالسَّوَاءِ الصِّرَاطِ أي قَصْرِ الطَّرِيقِ. Okay, the middle and the of the path. Okay, the middle of the path. 491. He says, سواء بالكسر أو الضم مع ترك الهمز. So this word sawa, siwa is recited or read siwa with a kesra on the scene or with a dhamma, suwa. Okay, and this is from the dawat al-istithna, the words used to make an exception for something, as the author mentioned in the poem Ajrumiyya, all right? إلا إلا وغير وسوى سوى سواء خلا عدا وحاش الاستثناء حواء. Now, he says istithna. The word siwa or suwa refers to a word used for an exception. Okay, and these two, hadani غير موجودين في القرآن. These two are not found in the Quran. These two words are not found in the Quran. Clear? He says وقد يكون من التسوية, and it could be used in the Quran or found in the Quran with the meaning of a taswiyah, meaning deeming things to be equal, deeming things to be equal or the same. So what he's saying is here, number one, the usage of siwa or suwa is not found in the Quran as istithna. However, it could be with the meaning of taswiyah, such as in the ayat of Surah Al-Taha, ayat 58, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, فَاجْعَلْ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكَ مَوْعِدًا لَن نُخْلِفْهُ نَحْنُ وَلَا أَنْتَ مَكَانًا سِوَاهُ. Okay, so make between us a promised day, a promised time, an appointed time. Okay, an appointed day, an appointed time. لن نخلفه. We're not gonna break this promise. We're not gonna break this appointment that we have. نحن ولا أنت مكانا سواه. Okay, an equal place that we can meet up. Talking that was referring to Fir'aun's Sahar, his magicians, as well as Musa, the day when they can, basically, uh, you know the story, right? Guys, to the now 492. Sufaha'u wa sufaha'u jam'u safihin. The word sufaha is the plural of the word safih. Wa huwa naqis al-aql. Is a safi is a fool. Okay, so I have to mention somebody who uh, not a deficient intellect. Okay, deficient intellect. Somebody whose intellect is not complete, or is not all the way there. They're not all the way there. He says, "Well, aslu safahi al khifa." The original meaning, the origin of the word of the masdar safa refers to something to be light, for something to be not heavy. وَلِذَلِكَ قِيلَ لِمُبَذِّرِ الْمَالِ. For this reason, you would say to someone who squanders wealth, someone who wastes wealth, Safir, okay, somebody who's a Safir, they're foolish, okay. وَلِلْكُفَّارِ وَالْمُنَافِقِينَ سُفَهَاء, as well as this word is also used for disbelievers and people who are hypocrites, sufahat. They're fools. Okay, they're fools. Their intellect is not all the way there. Clear? Okay, and this is clear. The ayat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, say يقول السفهاء. Okay, the fools will say, ما ولاكم عن ما ولاهم عن قبلتهم. What turned them away from their original qibla, the direction they used to pray. Okay. And Allah uses word sufaha, wala tutu sufaha mwalakum, and don't give the sufaha your wealth. So referring to people with naqis al people who's they're not so crafty or smart with money. Okay. Youth, young people, some women, okay, even some men, but people who are not there. Is that clear? I'm not trying to be they call misogynist or anything like that. Okay. So yeah. Salwa, he says, Ta'irun yushbihu samana. Salwa is a type of bird, okay, and it resembles a different type of bird called sumana. I'm not really sure or familiar with that type of bird. He says, وَكَانَ يَنْزِلُ عَلَى بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ مَعَ الْمَنِّ. It used to be sent down to Bani Israel along with men. Okay, and we learned men was, as the people knowledge mentioned, some say it resembled honey. It's a type of sweet, okay? But Salwa was a type of bird that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down to Bani Israel. Okay, and it was one of the ni'am that He blessed them with. Okay, they had food on demand. طيب وأنزل such in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 57, وَأَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَنَّ وَالسَّلْوَى. Okay, and we sent down to you al-man as well as salwa. He says 493, سَأَلَ لَهُ مَعْنِيَانِ. The verb sa'ala or the root words, it has the meaning of talab al-shay, okay, to request something, to ask for something, as well as wal istifhamu an, to ask a question about something. Okay, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah An-Nisa with regards to the first talab al-shay, was'alullaha min fadli, yani ask Allah from His bounty. Okay, request from Allah's bounty, as well as in Surah in an example of al-istifham, a question, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 211. Sal bani Israel, kam ataynahum min ayatin bayyinah. Ask the children of Israel, how many signs, how many clear signs did we give them? So those are two usages of the word talab al-shay wal istifham. Okay. طيب. He says والسال بغير همز من المعنيين المذكورين ومن السيل. He says the verb sala has basically three meanings. He says number one, sala without the hamza, because that's what takhfif, one of the ways of takhfif al-hams, four ways to lighten up the hamza. Okay, we have ibdal, which is in this case where the hamza is dropped and it turns to the letter of med that's suitable for the haraka before it. So a hamza would turn into a alif as a fetas before it. A hamza would turn into a wow for dhammas before it. A hamza would turn into a ya and for kesras before it. So here, sala, he said without the hamza, with the two meanings before, meaning talab al-shay wal istifhamu an, requesting something or asking about it. Okay, such as in Surah uh, Al-Ma'arij, as the scholars of Tafsir mentioned, in Abu Ja'far as well as Warsh, I believe in Warsh, Naam, it's recited, Sala sa'ilun bi'adabin waqi'. Sala. Okay? So those are two meanings, two previous meanings, and then the other meaning, it could come from wasail, for something to flow. Okay? Is that clear? For something to flow, like Sal al-ma'u, the water flowed. So in reality, it's three meanings. Sahih? طيب. He says subhana. Subhana. He says tanzihun. Subhana is a word used for tanzih. Tanzih is to declare something to be free of any flaws or imperfections or blemishes or deficiencies. Okay? And subhana is always going to be used, it's always going to be subhana with a fatha. Okay? And he says, وَصَبَّحْتُ اللَّهَ أَيْ نَزَّهْتُهُ عَمَّا لَا يَلِيقُ بِهِ. I deemed Allah to be perfect. I deemed Allah to be free from any blemishes for anything that's not suitable for him. Min as-sahibati, from whether as regards to having a wife, wal waladi, having a son, wal shurakai, partners, wal andad, okay, competitors, was sifat al-huduth, okay. He says was sifat al-huduth, in attributes of al-huduth, which we'll read the footnote, with jami' al-uyubi wal naqais, in all of different flaws and blemishes, okay, deficiencies. So this word subhana, right, subhanallah, is a word used for tanziyah, declaring Allah to be free from any imperfections, any blemishes. The author is a footnote here with regards to Sifat al-Huduth. Let me read the footnote in my own book, notes. So Sheikh Abdul Rahman al-Barak, he mentions that the statement of Sifat al-Huduth it could be taken one of two ways. If he intends by it one meaning, okay, he says هذا لفظ المجمل is an obscure word. It's not really clear on what he's intended by here. It says يحتمل حقا وباطلا. It's possible that he can be intending something that's true or intending something that's false. Okay. And what he's saying is that فإن أريد به تنزيهه تعالى عن وصفه بشيء من خصائص المخلوق مما يستلزم تمثيله سبحانه بخلقه فهو حق. If he intended by it sifat al-huduth, that Allah is free from being described with anything that's specific to human beings or any creation for that matter. Okay, something that necessitates for him to be similar to him, similar to his creation. Okay, then that's the truth. That's the truth. He says, when أريد به تنزيهه عما يكون بمشيئته تعالى من أفعاله, if he intends by it by declaring Allah to be free from anything, something in regards to his mashia, his will, okay, min af'alihi, meaning from his actions, okay, like such as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's sifat al-fi'liyah. All of Allah's sifat al-fi'liyah, they're tied to Allah's mashia. So if he's saying basically, and Allah is free from sifat al-af'al, okay, then that's false. Then that's false. Is that clear? Because we definitely affirm Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sifat al-af'al, okay? Allahu yaf'alu ma yasha. Allah does whatever he wants, right? Yarzuqu man yasha. He provides for whoever he wants. Yaghfiru li man yasha. Forgives whoever he wants. Those sifat al-af'al are ties to Allah's mashi'ah. So he says that basically this word of sifat al-huduth is not really clear on what he intends. Okay? He says if he intends by that, then he's wrong, okay? He's false, okay? And he says وهذا أصل عند أكثر المتكلمين. This is the default understanding of most people of kalam. Okay, when they say sifat al-huduth, then they're referring to basically sifat al-af'al. Okay, af'al al-ikhtiyariyah. طيب? Now, and he also mentions something with hulwa al-hawadith. That's referring to something else. Any what do you call it? Any questions? طيب. We have 496. سار يسير بمعنى مشى ليلا أو نهارا. Sarah, which most people they say it means to travel, right? But it literally means to walk at night or walk in the daytime. Walk during the daytime or nighttime. Okay, nighttime or daytime. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Surah Al-Ali Imran and other places, فَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. So walk on the earth. Okay? Walk on the earth, travel on the earth by night or by day. Clear? He says, Sara Yasri Masha Laylan. Barakallah. He says the word now, Sara Yasri Masha Laylan, to walk at nighttime. To walk at nighttime. Okay? To walk at nighttime. ويقال أيضا أسرى بالألف. With the same meaning, أسرى could mean يعني مشى ليلا. And that's سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده. Okay? ليلا من المسجد الحرام. Okay? Clear? So yeah. And in this case, based on what the author says, he says we're coming with the same meaning. That confirms the principle of ziyadatul mabna tadullu ala ziyadatul ma'na ghaliban. More letters, more meaning in most cases. In most cases. As we mentioned before in our other previous classes, specific to Sarf and other parts of this book. He says 498 سخر يسخر بالكسر في الماضي والفتح في المضارع with the كسر المضارع ونسكه فاعله and فتح خاء عين نسكه يفعل إذا استقياس فعل يفعل أي استهزأ. Okay, استهزأ, to mock or ridicule somebody. Okay, to mock or ridicule somebody, to make fun of somebody. Okay, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat 212 and other places, وَيَسْخَرُونَ مِنَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Okay, and they mock, they ridicule, they make fun of those people who believe. Clear? Now, 499 سخر بالتشديد من التسخير. The word or the verb سخر, let's go فعل يفعل تفعيلا سخر يسخر تسخيرا. This means to subject something to something else, meaning to make something subservient to something else. Okay? In the service of something else. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, وَسَخَّرَ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ. okay, in Surah Al-Ra'd, Surah Al-Ra'd, وَسَخَّرَ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ, okay, and he took control of, okay, the yeah, sun and the moon, okay. كُلٌّ يَجْرِي لِأَجْلٍ مُسَمَّى. Each of them, they run on an appointed time frame. Only Allah knows how long. Does that make sense? Like, now he says, سُخْرِيًّا بِالضَّمِّ السِّينِ, 500 word, 500. سُخْرِيًّا, okay, والضمة هو من السخرة, okay. السخرة وهو تكفيل الأعمال. يعني سبحان الله. سخرية with a dhamma here from sukhra, okay? Sukhra with a dhamma. This is similar to what I just mentioned, though. To make something subservient to something else, and the service is something else, okay? Like a servant to that thing, okay? That's what a dhamma. And I'm going to give you an example too, such as in Surah to Zukhruf, okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions ba'dan sukhriya. Surah to Zukhruf, ba'dan zukhriya. Astaghfirullah. Sukhriya. And basically that we made some of them to be servants, okay, or under some of others, okay, meaning everybody's not on the same level. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made some people to be subservient and under others. Is that clear? You could, if you look in the books of tafsir, you're gonna see that. That's what a dhamma. Now with a kesra, bil kesri min al istihza'i. If you see sikhriya with a kesra, then that's referring to mocking, ridicule, making fun of others. Okay. Now
عفوا أخي that was with a كسرة yeah.
that's what a kesra. So with a dhamma sukhriya, as it comes in Surah al Zukhruf, that's what the meaning of takfir al a'mal. Okay, making someone subservient. Okay, under a servant of someone else. And with a kasra, sikhriya, that's from al-istihza, ridiculing, making fun of, mocking. Okay, clear?
نعم.
So yeah. Okay, now, we have an example from with the kasra in Mu'minun, Surah al-Mu'minun, ayat 110. فَاتَّخَذْتُمُوهُمُ سِخْرِيًّا. Okay, سِخْرِيًّا or سُخْرِيًّا. 501. Sultanun lahu ma'nayan. Sultan is two meanings. Al-Burhan, which is a proof, okay? A proof. Such as in Surah to Yusuf, ayat 40. Ma anzalallahu biha min sultan. Allah didn't send any proof for it, any authority for it. Clear? And wal quwwa, sultan could refer to strength, okay? ومنه, from amongst his usages, لا تنفذوا إلا بسلطان, okay? You all won't be able to break through it except with sultan, except with strength. Okay, referring to the jinn. Okay, mafhum, right? Or in other places, right, where Allah Subhanahu wa Taala mentions like the shaitan, he doesn't have in ibadi laysa alaykum min sultan, right? Really, my servants, you don't have any sultan over them. You don't have any strength. Okay, you don't have any power to force them to do anything, or you have any strength over them. Is that clear? He says, Sama yasumu a kullifal amru. I'm sorry, a kullifal amru amra wa unzimahu. Okay. Sama, this means to kullifal amra. It means to yasumunakum su al adab. To like force someone to do something, okay? To decide in a fear, to make a judgment on something, unzimahu, and to force someone to do something, okay? To force someone to do something, such as in the ayah that he mentions, Yasumuna kumusu al adab, okay? They, I don't know a good translated word for it. but they force you all to a bad adab, a bad punishment. يقطعون أبناءكم. Okay, ويذبحون أبناءكم. Slaughtering your sons, right? Making your women stay alive, struggling, having them struggle to live. Okay, is that clear? He says, وأصله نعم وأصله من صوم السلعة في البيع. The original meaning, the original meaning from this word Sami Yasumu Soman is like a what do you call this? A bargain, like bargaining a product when selling. Okay, bargaining a product when selling. I'm not sure. I don't understand really the connection between that and what was mentioned though. Just to be real, okay. But like Sam is to offer something in for sale. Now, سئم يسأم أي مل. Sa'ima, yes, amo. Sa'ima means to be like bored, to be bored or tired. Okay, to be tired. Okay, it has two different. It means to be tired. Okay, it also means to be bored or annoyed. Okay, a mella. ومنهم وهم لا يسأمون. Okay, and they don't get tired. Okay, don't get bored with it. With bored. مفهوم? Sunnatun a adatun. Sunnah comes with the meaning of ada, a habit, a custom, or ongoing practice. Okay. He says 505. We can end it here because I do have to take care of a need. That's going to be, he says, Salaf al amru, a taqaddama, for something to be, to proceed, for something to come before and proceed. Okay. I didn't give an example of sunnah. You have the example in Surah Al-Ahzab 38. Sunnatullahi fil ladina khalaw min qabl. Okay. This is the sunnah of Allah. This is the custom of Allah, the ongoing practice of Allah regarding those people who came before. Okay. And Salaf al-Amra, such as Allah mentions in Surah Al-Ma'idah, Afallahu amma salaf. May Allah pardon, Allah's pardoned and forgave what is preceded, what came before, what was done before. Is that clear?
So just quickly, سلف الأمر. Repeat that one more time.
سلف الأمر, that's a verb. سلف الأمر, that's a verb. أي بمعنى تقدم, أي تقدم الأمر. For something to come before and proceed. Okay? عفى الله عما سلف. Allah has pardoned and forgave and wiped away those things that was done before. Is that clear? You with me?
نعم يا أخي.
I didn't hear you say anything. That's why I was saying. You we good or you want
يا
me?
الحمد لله معك.
Okay. He says وأسلفه الرجل أي قدمه. أسلف, when it's called أسلف, يسلف سلافا, means for to يعني to precede someone else, to come before someone else. Okay. قدمه. Okay. For the man came before him. Okay. He preceded him. Okay. طيب. He says the meaning ومنه هنيئا بما أسلفتم. Okay. كلوا واشربوا هنيئا بما أسلفتم في الأيام الخالية. نعم, in the ayah. Right? Eat and drink هنيئا, careless, carefree. بما أسلفتم, because of what you did before. Okay? What you presented and proceeded before. Is that clear?
نعم بما قدمتم.
يعني نعم بما قدمتم ما أسلفتم في الأيام الخالية, in the previous days. Okay? The past days, meaning during the dunya, hayat dunya, the life we live in now. نعم. بما أسلفتم الباء هنا يعني باء السببية. Okay, because of what? Okay, أسلفتم. طيب. How much more we have in this chapter? We have a few. We have, so let's end here on page 222. We're gonna start back up from 506 on Sarra'u Fa'la'u min as-surur. Any questions? طيب. I don't have any comments or anything like that. Jazakumullah khairan for attending. And listening. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.